Yeah. Very interesting game. And now, I mean, this means we're going to a game number 5. So I'm all for it. It's going to be the Rat with the Shaman and StrifeCro with the Mage. And I can't help but feel that StrifeCro is still trying to figure it out if he hasn't already. What exactly happened? And you can see he's sunk further into his chair. He's going to throw out this Mage one more time, and the Rat looks like he's playing a more aggressive version of Shaman, probably similar to the list that we saw Chalky play yesterday in Group A with Argent Horse Riders.
Yeah, and just look at the body language, too. StrifeCro's sunk in his chair. The Rat's leaned very far forward and paying very close attention to this game. StrifeCro, I mean, looking a little bit stressed. I mean, thinking, did I give that one away? Did I have it won?
Did I accidentally put 2 ofs in my deck without knowing?
Oh, that's a miserable hand from the Rat. Oh, that one's ugly. You know, Shaman wants to get going with 1-drop, 2-drop.
Yeah.
This is pass into Finley or Totem. Like, maybe Ancestral Knowledge play the Finley on 3, but with the Flametongue Totem out, with the Flametongue Totem in hand and no minions, he may just want to get something on board.
I mean, I think you go with Ancestral Knowledge into Finley. Maybe hope you pick up a Tunnel Trog so you can play that on turn 3, but then it's susceptible to so many things. Just Arcane Blast plus Ping would be enough to take it out.
Racking his brain right now, like, what's... You know, at this point, I would say the Rat probably isn't favored in this game. So what he's thinking about is, how do I get it as close to even as I can?
Mm-hmm.
When StrifeCro sees that, I mean, he's got to know this is a more aggressive build and that this is open to take advantage of this.
Yeah. Not even going to play the Finley. Just going to go ahead and play the Abusive Sergeant. I guess trying to bait out a ping, or trying to force out a ping, I suppose is a better way to put that, so it doesn't trade into that Cold Sorcerer. But what a rough hand. What a rough turn.
And to start to pick up some action afterwards, though, I mean, when you have a hand this week, Flame Wreath Faceless is certainly one of the cards that can put together all the damage you missed early on. And StrifeCro, true to what I've seen from him, is going to take this opportunity to develop. Now the Rat's looking like he could get back into this one.
4 mana 7/7s will do that to a man. Change his outlook on life.
It's Hand Shaman. Handlock's not the only one that plays Giant Minions on turn 4.
Yeah. And I don't think StrifeCro is really in too much of a rush to try and, like, pressure. He could probably just Forgotten Torch and trade in and still be relatively happy with the state of the game.
Yeah, it's a pretty hefty price to pay, but looks like he's going to be happy to do so. You know, knows that stifling the board pressure is kind of the number one priority in this matchup. We'll see where the Rat wants to go. With that Flame with Faceless pickup, this is looking good for him.
Oh, yeah.
This is a fantastic curve. Gets to have the Flame Juggler. Oh, and even his choice of the 2 hero powers this deck is looking for.
Yeah, and I think it's an automatic steady shot. With how that early game went, you got plenty of cards in your hand, plus an Ancestral Knowledge as reload. You pick that steady shot, and you let that arrow fly.
Even despite the poor open, StrifeCro's immediately on a back foot, and it's because of Flame Wreath Faceless.
Yeah.
Wow, this feels like desperation to me. And now the Rat's going to take full advantage of this. I mean, I imagine this is Flametongue Totem coming down. Flame Wreath Faceless hitting the board. I mean, he just saw Arcane Intellect hero power. I mean, now he has options at least. But if the first Faceless was answered the way it was, and StrifeCro didn't draw a Polymorph or a Fireball, how on earth is he going to answer this one?
Yeah. He's going to overload for 2, but what that does mean is he'll still have 5 mana available going into the next turn, turn 7, to be able to play the Doomhammer. Which is going to wreak some havoc.
StrifeCro needed Doomsayer right here. Frost Nova Doomsayer had a pretty excellent chance to succeed.
Yeah.
Given the Rat's hand. And with that, Arcane Explosion, this is certainly not meant for this matchup.
No. Probably pretty good against Zoo. But, I mean, Acolyte of Pain plus Frost Nova is going to have to be the play here, but the Rat, with the rough start, got to be feeling like he's in a good spot now. Yeah. See if he picks up Ardent Squire.
Now, the question here is, does he want to put the hammer down? Because if he does that and Harrison Jones shows up, StrifeCro only has 2 mana left over afterwards. So that's...
Yeah, if Harrison Jones comes down, I think he's happy. Like, that means his board's intact.
That was the question I wanted to ask, and that was very easily answered.
Yeah. So I would equip this Doom. I would have equipped this Doomhammer 10 seconds ago. My attacks would already be in his face. That end turn button would have been already hit. There we go.
He's looking through every single line of play right now. There's not a reason to rush yourself, and maybe overthinking this a bit.
Yeah.
I think he would have been comfortable with a Harrison, but he's probably also comfortable just keeping pressure on board as well.
Sure. Maybe he wants to try and find Rockbiter, but I mean, I think you're happy if it comes out next turn. If that Doomhammer comes out next turn.
I'd say so. I guess wanting to weave in hero powers as often as possible too. I mean, really considering the longevity of that. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa.
But I mean, look what he has to stave off first.
Yeah.
So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
I mean, he can Arcane Explosion, ping off the Flame Juggler, Arcane Blast the Flame Tongue Totem, or he could Arcane Blast and Arcane Explosion the Flame Tongue Totem, and then use the Acolyte of Pain to try and find a better answer. He'd still have 4 mana remaining, but he still wants to deal with that 7/7 somehow.
He can't. This is pure desperation right now.
Yeah.
Trying to answer just as much as he can.
Surprised he didn't just evaluate with the draw first, if he knew that was going to be his play. I mean, what if you pick up a Polymorph with that 4 mana?
This is 19 damage from the Rat this turn. Wow. Imagine if he'd played the Doomhammer last turn and we got in 4 damage. I don't know. This is...
I wonder.
I think the Rat has counted this about 12 times now. And it's like, this can't be right. Overload cannot be the reason that I can't succeed this turn.
Yeah.
If he goes for Doomhammer here, he is in for a very rude awakening. Because Ice Block Harrison Jones. Oh, okay. I thought he reached for the Doomhammer for a second. Whew.
Not quite. Looks like it's going to be Feral Spirits. And then I'd imagine like Abusive Sergeant plus Hero Power to try and get the efficient amount of damage possible. Because that's what it seems like he's been moving towards, is just efficient damage. And, I mean, he's still piling on this pressure.
No, StrifeCro's not in a good spot by any means. It's getting close to desperation time. He needs to draw the Reno.
Yeah. I mean, he can develop Ice Block this turn, but what else do you do?
You draw for Reno, I think. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Nelly.
Now, the thing about this is that the Rat has spent this entire game building his damage.
Yeah.
And so even if the Reno comes out here, the Rat's going to have a pretty solid build into this. I mean, he's still got a massive board presence that StrifeCro needs to handle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, I mean, this game went from being over in 2 turns to maybe StrifeCro has a chance. I mean, he can Ice Block this turn, try and whittle away some of the board, and then follow up into Reno Jackson to try and, stave off what's happening.
Oh, that is death.
Yeah.
StrifeCro, I think with how slow the Rat played this, StrifeCro doesn't think he has damage in hand.
Yeah, but that's going to be the Rat taking the game and taking the series a risk by StrifeCro, and it doesn't pay off in the blunder in game number 2. I mean, I don't even want to... I guess it's a blunder. It's just sort of a weird situation that StrifeCro wasn't expecting with the double Forgotten Torch, putting 2 Roaring Torches in this deck and not making Reno not activated. The Rat's going to take that one, and I mean that's a great job by him, sort of clawing back in a series that looked pretty grim, going down 2-0 and finding that win.
Yeah, I mean, let's classify Blunder here. Blunder is a massive mistake. Now, in order for it to happen, StrifeCro needed to be put in an incredibly unfamiliar position. So this isn't really like StrifeCro's not good at Hearthstone. It's that he found himself in this weird spot and wasn't thinking through it. I mean, it doesn't matter that often, but when it matters to that degree, that's the kind of mindfulness you need to have to be able to compete. He lost a game that he probably could have won otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's because he wasn't thinking about one tiny little detail, 2 Forgotten Torches.
Well, it ends up being the difference in this one, and the Rat's going to move on to the winner's match. StrifeCro's not out of the tournament yet. He can still fight it off in the loser's bracket to move on to tomorrow to the playoff stage. But we'll definitely have to see. Coming up next, it is going to be the second match of Group B. It's going to be Shoop taking on Chess Dude. So Shoop, a player, been around ONOG a long time, and Chess Dude sort of a newcomer to the American competitive Hearthstone scene. Definitely excited for that one, but we are going to have to go to a quick break before we jump into the next match of the day. But guys, don't go anywhere. Plenty more action here at the One Nation of Gamers circuit right after this.